Hello YouTube and welcome to this new video. That is the first part of my super video marathon until Christmas. It's only 4 days, but hey, 4 days and 4 videos is really like the accomplishment for me. That's also why this video is not created entirely by me. The script has been made by an amazing guy from my Discord called SF Alba. He already helped me with a previous video, but he greatly helped me with this video on part of the script. So huge credits to him for the amazing script he wrote. Anyway, let's kick off with the exotic metals of Tamriel. The metals we see in Tamriel are often the same as the metals we see in our real world. Common metals of Nirn include iron, steel and silver. However, it's less common ores that make up the upper echelon of the quality blacksmithing materials. For example, moonstone and quicksilver are the two base materials used in the crafting of elven armor and weaponry. These things we don't really find on our own world. The combination of these two metals creates an armor which is much lighter than steel, despite only losing a fraction of the durability. Often it's the case with these metals that not much is known about them, even in universe. Well, there's not much known about moonstone, at least by the Nords. This is just because Nordic cultures typically shuns elven advancement in favor of their own, more traditional methods. The smithing process of making elven weapons and armor was once a closely guarded secret, as stated in the book Light Armor Forging. There was a Dunmer slave kept by the master smith of the Somerset Isle during the Second Era, Nulion, named Uvularen. I'm terrible with names, you guys know that. According to the book, Nulion was cruel to this slave, and when Uvul escaped, he thought it befitting to punish his master by revealing to the world the process of behind the elven armor. After that, it became common knowledge that moonstone was the key ingredient and that salt water must be used when quenching the hot metal. It's the difficulty in creating elven equipment that is noteworthy, due to the fact that quicksilver has a much lower melting point than moonstone, and you need both moonstone and quicksilver. It may come to you as a surprise that the main ingredient in crafting glass armor, another form of elven armor, is in fact a metal. It is true, however, that glass armor is not made from actual glass, rather it's made from the rare metal malachite. Malachite has a green hue to it and is particularly translucent when crafted into armor. It's said to be some sort of metallic crystal instead of a full metal. It is a bit similar to ebony, a metal we will discuss more later. In that it is a volcanic material, however this differs from ebony that is less durable and more lightweight. Glass armor is seen as the most difficult of the light armors to create, due to the fact that while forging, if struck against the grain, it has a small chance of completely shattering. And you can imagine that that's not something you want after hours of work. If you can do it, however, it comes with the combined benefits of both malachite and moonstone, which give glass armor its strength and its weight, or rather, lack of weight, which make it so useful. I've mentioned it a couple of times before, but it's worth noting that quicksilver, the metal used in the regular elven armor, is used in light armors, but also used in the improvement of Nordic carved armors, which means that at some point the Nords also started using quicksilver. So now this is all that we know about the light materials. Let's talk a little bit about the heavy metals. First, Ocasium, also known as Orcalic, I'm terrible with names, I'm sorry, is a green-grey heavy metal, primarily used by the orcs in their crafting of orcish equipment. This metal can be quite difficult to work with due to its tendency to become brittle at high heat. It is also often mixed with some iron in order to combat this brittleness, as well as equipment. It is often speculated that the Orgasic tower is made from this metal. However, discussion of the towers is best saved for another video, since I don't do that kind of discussion in this sort of video. But there's another, even more mysterious heavy metal that we know. It comes from the height of the power of the Dwemer. A metal that the Dwemer created as a replacement for every other metal. This replacement came in the form of dwarven metal, which is actually his only known name. Its real name is never mentioned anywhere. This metal was used for everything by the Dwemer, from their cutlery to their automatrons. Weapons made from this metal are renowned for their corrosion resistance, as well as their edge retention. It's just more durable than anything else we know. Over the many centuries, all sorts of metallurgists have kind of tried to replicate this metal, but it never worked, and the method of creating the dwarven metal has been always lost since the disappearance of the Dwemer. As a result, the only way to use this metal in crafting is to find it in Dwemer ruins in, like, components of their automatrons and melt it down to metal. There's no way to actually create the metal itself. Another metal that we know is ebony. It's a glass-like metal, as I stated before, found mostly around the islands of Vardenfell. It's known to be one of the most precious metals on Tamriel, and is also protected by the Imperial law. This means that it cannot be mined or exported without an Imperial permit. The procedure of refining ebony ore in order for it to be used can usually take up to 6 months. However, this time can be greatly reduced with the right smithing tools, but not everybody owns these tools. The metal, which is the only metal that can be used in armors which do not alloy with iron, must be completely heated up before attempting to hammer it. Otherwise, small cracks will form, which will eventually cause the armor to be completely shattered, just like the glass I mentioned before. The metal must be folded over itself in order to create strips of metal, which will then be hammered into shape. Ebony is also the key ingredient in making the very rare Daedric armor. The process of creating Daedric equipment is very similar to that of making ebony, but with a few exceptions. First of all, it is best attempted at night, especially under a new or full moon, but never during an eclipse. Only especially skilled smiths will know exactly the right moment in which the heart of a Daedra should be thrown into the fire of the forge. If done right, this will create Daedric armor, which is usually the strongest armor one can find in Elder Scrolls games. So, and that's just about everything there is to say about the exotic metals found in Tamriel, and a little bit of information on the armors made from them. But if you think I've missed anything in this video, or better to say if SF Alba missed anything in the making of his script, be sure to let us know. I mean, I checked the script and I couldn't find anything else, so I think it's pretty solid from that point. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, like, subscribe, do all those things. If you're on my Discord, give Alba a thanks, I suppose. And if you want to support me in a more personal way, consider supporting me on Patreon. The current patrons are displayed on the screen right now. And yeah, if you join up with the Patreon, there will be all sorts of small benefits. But remember, you never have to do that, of course. Anyway, again, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow in the next lore video, which will probably be a bit longer than this one. This video was supposed to come out tomorrow instead of today, but the other one was like, I received this script earlier and the other one was like not really finished and I didn't want to half-ass it, so I decided to do this one today. So, see you all tomorrow.